Hey guys, it's Daniel. So there's been a lot of news happening in the last few days with Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and thought it'd be interesting if we sat down together, you and me, and talked about it. Like every falling empire, Nancy Pelosi is simultaneously at the peak of her own personal power, but never closer to the edge as she is right now. Threatened on all sides by Republicans that she's never really been able to defeat, a House that is split, to say the least, and a new wave of progressives that are threatening the very nature of her rule. Nancy Pelosi has become, how shall I say, increasingly hostile to members of her own party, a party that she supposedly supports, a party where she believed many years ago that they needed new young blood and new people and diverse members until she got them. And then she's like, they have some ideas that I'm not a big fan of. Let's look at one of those ideas that she's a big fan of.
Up is the Green New Deal proposal a useful baseline?
I haven't, quite frankly, I haven't seen it, but I do know that it's enthusiastic, and we welcome all the enthusiasms that are out there.
She's very supportive. Even though she's not seen it, it's very enthusiastic, and she likes it, but she's going to do her own thing. Nancy Pelosi had a very different tune recently when it came to things happening based on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Of these wings, AOC and her group on one side.
It's like 5 people.
No, it's the progressive group. It's more than 5.
Progressive. I'm a progressive, yeah.
It sounds like as the competition for power gets tough, Nancy's trying to get it just a little bit tougher, if you know what I mean. It's fascinating how things have begun changing so quickly. Is it happening because Nancy Pelosi is fantastic at, she's good at fundraising. We give her that. She's one of the best fundraisers. She's a master fundraiser at that. No one takes money from more corporate donations and rich people than Nancy. But it feels as if she is, what's the word I'm looking for? Threatened. Threatened by this new power that this new senator has walking into Congress. This adulation, this support, this public backing, this care, this nice reputation that she doesn't have. Perhaps she feels threatened. This old style of doing things, taking in money, and this new style of giving the people what they want. Very different from each other. One's good at one, one's good at the other. But I don't think that's all she has had to say about AOC recently. Let's check that out.
It wasn't in districts like mine or Alexandria's. However, she's a wonderful member of Congress. I think all of our colleagues will attest. But those are districts that are solidly Democratic. This glass of water would win with a D next to its name in those districts.
Fascinating, isn't it? Now that we've gotten to the point of AOC is basically just like a glass of water. Anyone can do what AOC they do. It's not important what she did. I promise it's not important. I promise. Isn't it fascinating how the Democratic Party has been so worried, so very, very worried that these new progressives are going to take all these seats. But apparently it's so easy, a glass of water can do it. I drink glasses of water every day. I should run for Congress. If you drink water every day, apparently you should as well. You have more water in you than is needed to run for Congress. But we all know that's really not what she means. She's demeaning AOC because she's perhaps threatened by her and the power she wields. AOC is, dare I say it, more popular and more talked about on the news than Pelosi ever has been. Now, if I was an elderly Speaker of the House whose entire life was based on fundraising and getting myself in power and maintaining that power once I had it, and then fundraising a little more, and I had this person come in, win the seat that my protege was in, and then on top of that, do a fantastic job of gaining media attention, do a fantastic job of getting things introduced, do a fantastic job of really going with what her constituents want and doing it fast and efficient, communicating it, and again, to that adulation from the normal people. I might feel a little bit worried if I was Nancy too, but let's see what else she has to say on this.
But why doesn't anything get done?
Well, we just started. We just started. It was 3 months since we were in office.
But you're talking about 100 days. This president's been in office for 2 years plus.
And we've been here 3 months. Hey, may I introduce you to the idea of the power of the speaker is to set the agenda. We didn't have a speaker who would bring a gun bill to the floor. We didn't have a speaker who would bring a Dreamers issue to the floor. We do now. And that's a very big difference. The power of the speaker is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? I mean, isn't it great to have that much personal power and not use it for the rest of the country? I mean, she's had so much time. 100 days with a Democratic majority, you can at least get some bills written, passed, and then send them to the Senate so the Senate does not pass them, and then you can call out the Senate. It's really good for re-election. Where is that, Nancy? I thought you were fantastic. I thought you were great at doing this. But it seems like what Nancy's actually really good at is raising money and then spending that money on other people's campaigns so that they're indebted to her and have to do what she says. But that's a little difficult for her to do with people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, I think it's fascinating how the Democrats have been bitching and moaning since forever that the idea of a primary is terrible and undemocratic and shouldn't be done. Yet every single member of the Progressive Caucus, which are 5 people apparently, are being challenged. Huh. Isn't that interesting? It's almost as if Nancy Pelosi just likes having a seat of power where she gets to make a lot of money and make a lot of decisions that benefit her and people around her. But I'm sure she's working very hard as we speak, trying to make everything just a little bit better for the average American.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, members of this very distinguished, crucial body at this crucial time. Is that the appellation you gave, Mr. Speaker? It is my great honor to address you in this storied institution in this 100th year of its founding. Thank you for your invitation to join in the festivities.
Daggone it, looks like she's over in Ireland talking to the Irish Parliament. Here's the difference between Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will walk into a house that's pretty hostile to her actions after just overtaking their protege, immediately start getting people involved and making it popular and pushing through bills and referendums to try and make things different. And Nancy Pelosi will go to Ireland to talk to their parliament. I think we need someone better. Nancy Pelosi, you've done enough. You've been there a while. Why don't you just retire? You got the money. Oh boy, do you have the money. And I wonder what she's going to do if Bernie Sanders becomes the next president. I wonder if he will accept her, or I wonder if her watch will end. Guys, I'll see you on Saturday.